welcome to Beautiful Subconscious. Another week, another episode, and I'm just super pumped. Like at the moment, I'm batch recording my episodes, which is exactly what I had planned for Beautiful Subconscious, hoping to draw upon topics that you feel connected to and that you can feel inspired by. Because my goal for everyone is to firstly realize that whatever they're facing, they're not alone. There is zero judgment on the way that they feel or what's happened in their lives. But then more and more above that for me is for them to draw upon their own inspiration and live life inspired and authentic to them. Nothing gets me going more so than seeing someone live in a way that's true for them. And we understand that not everyone's going to have that same blueprint of what their dream life looks like, but you know, and you can sense when someone's doing that, when someone's living that out. And so that gives me a buzz. That's what I love seeing within my clients. And in fact, right now with our TLT program, our Total Life Transformation program, that is the vibe. You see the specialists coming in, they're customizing the strategies and the clients are taking that and implementing that and having that support. I'm working with them through their subconscious, getting them, unpacking what's been blocking them in those 4 pillars of their health, their money, their relationships, and their career, and starting to rewrite and release what had been holding them back. And it's just so powerful to see it all come together and how the experience that the client is getting. It's just exactly what we dreamed it to be, but it's so incredible to see it happen in person. And it blows my mind that this was only a thought probably about 4 months ago, and now we're taking clients through this. So if you are feeling a sense of curiosity for it, please do not hesitate to just reach out for a call. There is zero pressure. Maybe it's for you now, maybe it's for you later, maybe it's not for you at all. But if you're getting an inkling or that sense of curiosity, that curiosity is a part of you, a higher sense of you calling this as a support to your next level, or there is an expanded sensation for you to rise up to through that curiosity. So I implore you to always lean into your curiosity, whether it's this program, whether it's something else, and start to cultivate that muscle of leaning in and just taking some action with that curiosity. It will always lead you to where you deserve to be. Also, what's playing out is the teacher training, the CK 101. So this is where you get to learn the foundational skills of kinesiology, understand the mind-body connection. You walk away with so much value. It's insane. So many techniques. You're learning the body, the muscles, the emotions, the organs, the chakras, everything that's in relation to them. You're taking home some dynamite tools that you can take towards your loved ones. And should you want to continue to become a kinesiologist, this is the gateway for that. And out of all the training that I've done, the CK infrastructure is so powerful. My gosh, the way that we gain rapid results and ascend through this modality, this form of modality, blows my mind. Like I can tell you, I am 1,000 times different to who I was in all the right ways, and a more truer version of myself than how I was before I found it, and even kinesiology in general. So if you're curious about that, please hit me up. I would love to get you on the next cohort. So today's episode is you're creating every moment and how to rise above your reactions. Before I hit record, I pulled a card because we do that for this podcast. Of course, we got to have an intentional card for every episode. And the one for today is my inner thoughts are love notes from the universe. So when I saw that, instantly for me, I'm just like, it is, of course, insanely correct. Like we are, whether it is in inverted commas, negative thoughts or whether they are positive thoughts, they are always love notes from the universe. The negative thoughts are showing you where you need to provide more compassion for yourself or more compassion for others, or maybe more nurturing, more nourishment, more rest. And the positive thoughts or those inspired thoughts, it's like, this is a truer version of you. This is your truth. Keep going for that. Keep leaning into that. Keep maxing that out. And either way, that's in service of you, whether you need to have more compassion, whether you need that more rest, whether you need to lean into more of this and just trust and keep drawing into that. They are all love notes from the universe. So I am super, super pumped that this was drawn for this session, for this episode right now. So you're creating in every moment. When you first hear that, it can feel like, that's a lot of responsibility and I don't know how I'm supposed to manage that. But you're creating in every moment. Your mind and your heart and the synergy of that and your energy is drawing upon and fusing together for a very specific bunch of vibrations that's calling upon attracts like vibrationally or polarizing vibrations. But either way, you're attracting something that you want or something that you don't want, and you're creating that. And so if that is overwhelming you, I totally get it. And how does one, manage every moment? It would send you insane. It would send anyone insane. So the idea for me is to have I've created these 3 steps to help you manage just how you're showing up, as many of the moments as you can, as long as we understand that firstly, we are going to ebbs and flow. We're going to have highs and we're going to have lows, and life's going to throw curveballs and we're going to be reactive. But how much of that reaction can you, draw back, and how quickly can you draw that back will indicate how much work you have potentially done or how much integration that you have embodied. And again, there's no judgment. We're always on a process of growing and learning and evolving and integrating. So whether you feel like, I reacted, shit with the kids this morning, that means I haven't done the work. That means I haven't, without creating the meaning to it, just know that there are ways that we can firstly let that be and find total acceptance of that and know that, however you reacted is, in the scheme of things, so fine. It's now coming back to yourself and what it is that you're really wanting to cultivate and co-create in any given moment. So the 3 steps to action to help support you co-creating in every moment by choice is, number 1, start the day deliberate. So it doesn't have to be a full morning ritual. It'd be nice if you had something that is authentic for you, but get deliberate in the morning. Get deliberate with how you want your day to be. Get intentional. Wake up in the morning, assess with where you're at mentally, emotionally, physically. Let it all go. Decide the day is going to be like this. I am so grateful the day is going to show up like this. And I'm so grateful that I feel energized and I'm embodying that reality like it's happening now. And you'll feel this inner synergy between your mind and your thought and that visual and intention and an activation within your body. And until you feel those 2 combined, I would ask you to sit with that until you've created that, where you've got that mind, today is going to look and be and feel this way, or this is the outcome that I will achieve. And then the energy and the emotions of gratitude and expansion into that, because that is the embodiment of that outcome. So I ask you just to wait for that deliberate, and every day might be different. Your mind might be somewhere else one day, and then the next day you might wake up super energized, and hold yourself with compassion. Those inner thoughts, they're love notes from the universe. Hold compassion for yourself and trust that it's all good. It's all good. It's all happening in service for you. The next point is to practice mastering your responses. So touching on, the reactions, say with the kids in the morning, the reactions with your partner, the reactions with something that's happened in your business or at work. We're going to have a response or reaction that we're not always going to love. And I think the best thing to do is just noticing how far you've allowed yourself to stretch out away from that center point of that very deliberate person that you're deciding to be in every given moment, and how far we've gone past that point, and how quickly can you get back to that truth, that embodiment, that version of yourself. And this part is going to take some practice, because it's going to take some practice of your ego saying like, no, that situation isn't right and I've got to make a stance for it, or I'm not okay with that. And it's going to want to respond in the way that it usually had. And you're going to have to practice the mastering of, yes, I can feel the urge of that. I can feel the resistance in that. I can feel the rising of anger or annoyance or irritation or sadness or withdrawing. And I'm choosing to bypass all of that. And because I'm worthy of staying at that higher vibration that I'm deliberately choosing to be, because from that higher vibration, I'm embodying the reality that I desire and what I deserve. And so I'm not going to negotiate not being on that frequency for a reaction that is going to give me a short fuse release. I know it's there and I know it wants to push on out and I can feel it, but I'm going to rise above it, give myself some space to honor this is where I want to be. And that's going to take some total mastering. And let me tell you, I'm not always there with that, but it's very profound to be like, okay, I can see you. I know you want me to go in that direction. And it's all it will take is this one little thing, but I'm going to rise above it because this is the baseline that I'm choosing to live at. This is the higher level frequency that I'm deciding for myself very deliberately. And I'm going to take everything that is reactive up to this floor, and this is where we're going to hang out. Okay, this is where we're doing. This is not negotiable. This is where I'm choosing. And then the third step to rise above your reactions is to find play every day. If you're finding play every day, you are opening a sense of expansion within yourself. You're opening a sense of ascension. You're opening a sense of like that freedom within, that activation of joy when you're choosing to play. And play can be, just hanging out with kids, just being super present. It can be play like putting on a movie. I would implore you to find your version of play, whether you go down and kick the football for a second, or whether you just laugh at something ridiculous. Find your version of play. I know for me, my version of play is quick wit humor, quick wit banter. I love being goofy AF. To me, that's play for me. I love being silly with my kids. I love being cheeky with the kids. I love trying to outwit them and just seeing their witty response, but I also love just cuddling with them and just finding that lightness. And bringing the inner kid out, I guess, is exactly what that is, because they know how to do it the best. Kids know how to play the best. And anytime that you can learn from them, do it, because they have got the skills so naturally without the interference piling on to then start to, dampen that sense of easy play. So do yourself a favor, hang with some kids or some cool dogs, I would say. So what happens when you don't do this? So when you're not deliberate with your day, when you're not choosing to master your responses, and when you feel like play has just escaped you for a few good weeks, you're now starting to default back to reactions and an old familiar self. You may hear Joe Dispenza say that, and it's so true, like just a familiar self. It's just something that you not necessarily want, but you're so used to it. So sometimes when you're not deliberate, you think that that's all there is. And so it's an art and a practice to start to rewrite that norm and start to, pave a new path neurologically of, hey, this is the new norm that I'm choosing for myself now. And then your reactions become less from, they become more responses than reactions, and they become less extreme, and they become more condensed. And that's the idea of being able to really cultivate that sense of choosing what you create. And so when you do this, all of a sudden, your subconscious is now changing up the route of your biology. So you're not feeling that stress in your body, or you're not letting it run you. You are changing the origins and the expression of your emotions, and you're more choosing your emotions. And your subconscious is changing your beliefs and your behaviors too. So when you're consciously showing up and you're deliberately creating in every moment, you are changing the biology within yourself. You're changing your behaviors. You're changing your belief. You're rewriting your subconscious, and suddenly your external world will change. All of a sudden, you are drawing upon these synchronicities. You're finding that, there are these things that are supporting you, or if something shows up, you're not as triggered by it. You're not as reactive to it. And so eventually, when that happens day after day, you're completely transforming and upgrading your reality to something that is more in alignment to what you're choosing and what you want and desire, as opposed to what you have always defaulted to. Your whole life changes. So the 3 steps in how to rise above your reactions are: start your day being deliberate, practice mastering your responses, choosing to stay on that higher level as best as you can, and please show compassion for yourself when you drop, because we will always have those moments, but it's just flying it back up there and choosing that for yourself because you're worthy to stay at that higher frequency. And then third, tune into play every day. Make sure you have that outlet of play. Make sure you have that ability to be able to just diffuse the serious adultness of life and draw back your inner child. Because when you do that, your whole life will change, because you're choosing to create the world that you want, as opposed to choosing a life unconsciously that you've just always been familiar with. So that's today's episode. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how those 3 actions, how they land for you, how you're starting to implement them, and what results that you're seeing, because I would just love to learn. If you just stick that out for 21 days, notice how much your life changes. Again, if you're interested in the Total Life Transformation Program, please do not hesitate to flick me a DM and we can get on a call, a quick chat to see how we can support you. If the 6 months is just too much of a time commitment, we have clients that are wanting customized versions of it. They're doing 3 months of the 2 pillars. So it is very, very customizable for what you need and the needs that you have in terms of time and finances. So we're here to support you. That's the number one thing. Thank you for your time today. I would love to hear how you found this episode. And until next week, take care of you.
Audience exclusive.